Hey guys, my name is Kiki, and I'm here with the Button Smashers to give you my review on a game known as Root Letter. Root Letter is a visual novel adventure game about a man who goes by the name Max in search for his long-lost pen pal named Aya Fumino. Upon beginning his investigation, it comes to light that she has been missing for 15 years, which was, coincidentally, when Max had stopped receiving letters from her. He decides to take it upon himself to investigate Aya's close friends to determine where she is or what may have happened to her. Most of my experience with visual novels were on my mobile devices, so I was excited and eager to try it on my PS4, and as the hours rolled and the chapters of the game unfolded, I was left disappointed. With each chapter, I tried to keep an open mind and to look for the good in the story. However, the lack of sincerity in each character, the absence of realism in the protagonist, and the horrendous payoff at the end was a complete failure in my eyes. There were a few redeeming qualities which I will discuss throughout the video, but overall, I was shocked at the negative impact I was left after the game. After the credits roll and you play through a very brief segment in which Aya sends you one final letter, it is revealed that there are 4 alternate endings that you can play through and 2 alternative paths that the story will take. Having this alternative presented left me with some hope for the story that it would be much better than the first time around. To start, I want to compliment the game on its visuals. Being a huge fan of manga and anime, I was instantly attracted to the beauty of the game. It focuses on a small city in Japan and pays close attention to keeping it as natural and realistic as possible. Throughout the game, we visit city hotspots, but we also visit traditional parks and restaurants. These number of visits give a great balance to the type of culture that the people live. In particular, there is a restaurant that Max visits almost daily, to which 2 of the more entertaining characters reside. With each time Max visits, he orders something different, which makes the art seem consistently changing and adjusting depending on what you choose. Something that I found worked with the story, but was also the downfall of the story, was the sheer number of characters that we are met with in the game. There are 7 friends that we are meant to investigate. Each character is significantly different to the next, each with backstories and histories that make you sympathetic and empathetic towards them. Even though the story managed to make it all work, I found that they were unnecessary. The number could have been cut down, making the story more crisp and more precise. In my opinion, I felt the only reason why so many friends were included in the story was to extend the length of the game. Again, in my opinion, at least 2 of the friends, one nicknamed Bitch and the other nicknamed Four Eyes, could have been cut from the story completely, and cutting them would have served no difference to the end result of the game. Because of the sheer number of characters, I also felt that there was a disconnect between the player and the characters as a whole. Because it was hard to keep track of all the friends running around, it was also difficult to find a reason to care for any of them at all. They were just a means to an end. Sure, their backstories helped to make some sort of emotional tie, but they were inevitably washed away the next chapter when they were almost forgotten completely. There was only one character that broke this rule, who I will discuss next. Shorty is a young, attractive bartender that you meet fairly early in the game. His backstory is presented early on, and most of it is unveiled in the later chapters. He is the most resistant of the friends to assist you, and when it is finally revealed what happened between him and Aya, it is the most justified reasoning throughout. His own pride and embarrassment, along with guilt and shame, play a large role as to why he is so resistant to help you as the player, and also largely as to what happened to Aya as a whole. In short, his story was the most intriguing, in my opinion, and it had the most concrete connection to Aya, and justified almost all of his actions towards you and the other characters. There is no other character like this. None of the other characters have any significant reasoning as to why they are hiding what happened to Aya from you and why they don't want to help you. And this could just be me nitpicking, but each character often says, "I am not saying anything more to you, I refuse to talk to you again." But yet, they continue to talk to you upon interrogation. Often I am left wondering if these characters are so reluctant to talk, with Max's persistence, they could easily have called authorities on harassment. Why none of them did so made me constantly question their validity to the story. Despite all of that, my biggest complaint with Root Letter is the ending. Upon my research, many people enjoyed the ending and found it to be safe and a great conclusion. However, I greatly disagreed. Throughout the game, the characters allude to a supernatural reasoning behind the disappearance to Aya. Many suggested ghosts, legends, demons, and UFOs. This constant notice, and then the resistance of Max to believe any of this nonsense, makes the player believe that, you know what, there is some supernatural being at work. For me, I wanted it to be some sort of ghost, and I wanted to shove it in the face of our arrogant protagonist Max and give him a shock he would never forget. But, unfortunately, this supernatural mystery is never explored upon. When the final ending is revealed, there was absolutely no supernatural forces at work, which left all of the other characters looking like immature fools that only use it as a ploy to drive Max away. I could go into more detail about the things I found wrong with the game, but much of it would include spoilers and nitpicky things that I personally found wrong that wouldn't be bothersome amongst other gamers. So my final verdict is this. The visuals are stunning, and at its core, it isn't a bad game by any means. The characters are diverse and unique to provide entertaining qualities, but their lack of sincerity to the core story is their only downfall. The ending was a huge disappointment for me, but every ending is different for each player depending on the choices you make within your letters to Aya. I think determining whether or not you enjoy the game will be how you interpret the ending and how your ending comes to life. But that's all I have to talk about today in regards to Root Letter. If you would like a spoiler warning, full detail review, please head on over to www.thebuttonsmashers.com to read that and any other review that may come to mind. You can follow us on the website or head on over to our Twitter or Facebook. Links will be in the description. Hope you guys have a great day today, and this is Kiki signing off.